begin by giving reverence to God, who's the head and center of my life. And I do that because I'm a believer, I'm a praiser, and I'm a worshiper. And I need that to keep my sameness down here in the house. The thing that keeps me going is I understand that contrary to what the Republicans think, my God is in control. I want to commend Mr. Smith for his vision in putting this event together because we needed it. We needed more people who are here, and maybe we need to do it again to get through the hard heads of some of our Congress. Can't stay with you long because I got to get back up there and represent the people of the 14th House District. But I wanted to come down to encourage you. Now you need to understand, and when I was a kid, I just used to listen to Paul Harvey. And Paul Harvey used to talk about the rest of the story. So anytime that these Republicans are doing what they're doing, you need to look behind what they're doing and look for the rest of the story. Now I'm not going to tell you that I got a psychic bowl and that I have all knowledge, because I don't. I know what I know and I know what I know, but I don't know everything. But one thing I do know is that they have a scheme, and you need to understand why they're doing what they're doing. My suggestion to you, every time you look at some of their movements, just follow the dollar.
Yeah.
Follow the dollar.
Yeah.
And you understand that. Now, a lot of times to get people to change, you have to create a false need for the change. They keep using the state of Florida as an example, but we're doing better in the state of Indiana than they're doing in Florida. Change. Well, why did they want to do it? Well, they did it because they came with a lot of plans that would allow the dollars to go to big business. Virtual education, big business. They said we can do it cheaper. You can do it cheaper than what you're doing, so you can save the state money. But now they come back and say we need all the money that you allocate for the ATM. We want it all, and the Republicans have given it to them in several bills. They're providing tax credits. Where do you think that comes from? That comes from the general budget, which means that there's less dollars to put in public education. So they've tried tax credits, and they've increased the amount of money that you can claim if you send your child for a private education. Once again, what did I say? Follow the dollar. Now they come out with charter schools. And charter schools certainly is an experiment. They said we're going to limit the number of charter schools. And we're going to study them, and we're going to look for best practices. And when we identify the best practices, we're going to institute those in the public schools. How many times have they ever shared with any of you what they're doing in the charter schools? That was just to get their foot in the door, and now they're expanding more and more charter schools, and once again, just follow the dollar. And who are running these charter schools? They're private institutions, private foundations, and they're using the money. Just simply follow the dollar. And then lastly, this new thing they've come up with, this is a cure-all for these poor indigent children. We're going to give them a chance. We're going to give them vouchers. Now, you know, even Stevie Wonder, who's blind, can see through that crowd. Once again, what I tell you is follow the dollar. Now, it's about money, and I know I'm limited, and I got to get upstairs and forgive me. This is what you told me to be brief, and I'm trying, but I'm a college professor, and I have 3 hours to teach. So to get me down to 5 or 10 minutes, you're doing well. But let me just tell you, you need to understand also what the scheme is. When you look at what's happening, it's happening in 26 states where they have control. This is not happenstance. This is a methodic, thought-out plan to destroy public education. Now you say, well, they're insistent. No, you got to understand, once again, it's about the dollar. If you go back and you study the genesis of public education, what you're going to find is that originally this state, this nation, this great nation that we live in, was not concerned about education. The Constitution of the United States did not even address it because it was a private matter, it was a family matter, because only the rich provided education. Through the churches where they wanted to empower people to be able to read the Bible, we got education. It became public education when we needed to build a nation. We needed to bring a cohesiveness. We had the Statue of Liberty stand up and say, give me your tithe, your poor, your humble vessels, learning to be poor, to be free. Send these. They came and we needed to build a nation. Because we had little Polands, we had little Irelands, we had little Germanys. We needed to build a nation. And then we enhanced what we did for public education because we needed to create a working population based on the Industrial Revolution. But you need to understand that that was the only reason why they did it. Now, they're looking at some of the models we have in other countries where you simply educate people so they're literate through elementary school or grammar school, and then you take a test and you go on to middle school or junior high school, and you take another test and you go on to high school. From high school, you take another test to go on to post-secondary studies. They want to save money. The first phase is strip all the money from public education and send it to private entities. The next is lower the burden on those businesses. You need to understand what they are about. But I came to encourage you today not to give up. The battle is not over until we quit. And you know what I say to you? He will do to us what we give him permission to do. He should not give those Republicans permission to destroy public education. We must be about the business of saying, restore the cuts that you've made to public education. Public education is working. We are working hard. I know that there are dedicated people who are out here trying to educate our children. I know we need the resources.